What's happened, the image makeover in Gujarat to an image makeover, or certainly a makeover at the top in the Indian cricket team. That's right. The Indian captain Virat Kohli dropped a bombshell this evening just before the T20 World Cup next month. Kohli announced that he'd be stepping down as the captain of the T20 side after the World Cup. Kohli has cited increasing workload as the reason behind the decision, even as speculation is on that he was virtually pushed out by the BCCI. What's the truth? Here's a story.
Virat Kohli has dropped a bombshell. Virat has decided to step down as India's T20 captain, and the T20 World Cup will be his last assignment as skipper in the shortest format. However, he insists that he will continue to lead India in ODIs and Test cricket. There were already reports floating around about the possible change at the helm after T20 World Cup. But Virat himself chose to end the speculation with the announcement. As captain, Virat's record isn't too bad. He has led India in 45 T20 internationals and has won 27 of them, with India losing just 14 of those. It's the failure to win a major ICC trophy during his tenure that may have prompted the decision. Whether the decision was Virat's own, or was it a preemptive move by Virat, who may have been given a nudge by the higher-ups. Virat broke the news with a social media post in which he said that playing all three formats for the last 8 to 9 years and leading the team for 5 to 6 years has taken a toll on him, and he needed to give himself some space. Virat has been one of the longest-serving captains in the Indian Premier League too. But even there, he has not been able to lift the trophy in so many attempts. He has led Royal Challengers Bangalore in 132 games, winning 60 and losing 65, which means his team has lost majority of the matches under his leadership. How well it goes within the Indian team setup remains to be seen, because the announcement came before the T20 World Cup and not after it. Rohit Sharma, who will most likely be the successor of Virat, will be the vice-captain of the team in the T20 World Cup. As a captain, Rohit has had a phenomenal record in T20 internationals. From the 19 matches that he has led India in, he has won 15 of them, which also includes Asia Cup title in 2018. In the IPL, Rohit is already the most successful captain, winning the title 5 times. He has led Mumbai Indians in 123 games and has won 72 matches. After the T20 World Cup, India's next big assignment will be the 50-over World Cup in 2023. And Virat has made it clear that he will continue to be there as captain in ODI and Tests. Virat has taken the big call, but the fact is, does anyone like to give up captaincy? Sports Bureau, India Today.
So are we reaching slowly but surely the end of the Virat Kohli era in Indian cricket? Was Virat's decision to step down really voluntary? Will a split captaincy between red and white ball cricket work for Team India? Or will it lead to two power centres? Is cricket a bit like politics at times? Joining me now first is Sunil Gavaskar, the one and only Sunil Gavaskar joins us. Appreciate your joining us, Mr. Gavaskar, here on the news today. Are you surprised at the manner in which Virat Kohli stepped down as the captain for T20 cricket on the eve of this big tournament, the T20 World Cup next month in Dubai?
Yes, I am surprised, and which is the reason when I was first informed about it, I asked, well, is it official, or because there have been rumors swirling around for some time. So yes, surprised for sure.
But do you mean to say that there was a sense, you say there were rumors, are you saying that there was a sense that you got that Virat was on his way out? Because there are two views emerging, one that he has been virtually forced to give up the captaincy by the BCCI, and the other is that he had tired of all the pressures of captaincy and simply stepped down voluntarily. Where does the truth lie?
Well, I think the rumors indicated that if he didn't win the World 2020 Championship now in a couple of months' time, then he would be asked to go. He would have been sacked. So maybe to preempt that, that is what has happened. So whether now India wins the trophy or not, that's going to be the last time he's captaining India in a T20 in the T20 format.
You know, in a strange way, when you look at this decision, Mr. Gavaskar, the fact that on the eve of a big tournament, Virat Kohli announces he's no longer going to captain India in T20 cricket after the World Cup, does that actually put more pressure on him and the team to win this tournament? Or in a strange way, does it unburden himself from the pressures now of having to prove himself? I remember you winning the 1985 World Championship as India captain. And you were very clear it was going to be your last big tournament, and you seem to be enjoying the game much more, or your captaincy much more. Could that happen? The same thing you think for Virat in this T20 World Cup, knowing that I'm no longer going to be captain in T20 cricket after this? My last hurrah.
Exactly. Because the knowledge is there that you can carry on as a player, but the responsibility of captaincy is not going to be there after this particular tournament. So this could actually be the best thing that could have happened as far as Kohli is concerned, because he'll score plenty of runs, tons of runs, and help India win the trophy. Because he knows whatever happens after this tournament is over, somebody else is going to be the captain of India in the T20 format.
But how much of this decision, Mr. Gavaskar, is influenced by Virat Kohli's own personal form? He hasn't scored an international ton in the last couple of years. Is that really the factor that could have influenced the decision either from him, his side, or from the board? Does lack of form, or in his case lack of form, make him that much more vulnerable now to being removed as captain?
No, I don't think so. I don't think that was the concern at all. Because look, he's a class act as a batsman, no question about it. He's a world-class player. Everybody is of the opinion that he's the best batsman in the world in all formats of the game. So no, that is not the pressure at all. I think it was just, the kind of, things that were happening around, which perhaps would have given him the sense that, it's better to go rather than being pushed out.
But, at the heart of this decision is having a separate red ball and white ball captain. Is that a good idea? We are seeing that most countries doing that with some degree of success. We now have two games in this in cricket, 50 overs and 20 overs on one side, white ball, and red ball test cricket. So do you believe it's a good idea to have a split captaincy, or does it lead, Mr. Gavaskar, at times to two power centers within Indian cricket?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. I think that's more a worry that is unfounded, because even, for example, when we had situations when somebody has been sacked as the captain and he's still in the team as a player, there's always that feeling amongst the others, not so much within the team, that there are two centers of power. That hardly ever happens, because even particularly the person who's been removed as a captain, now his place in the team is vulnerable. So he's not going to do anything silly, which will jeopardize his own place in the team. So no, I don't think that is something that one should worry about, because whoever is the captain in the white ball format, and if he's playing also in the 5-day format, he will want to do very well in the 5-day format, so that there is no pressure on his captaincy in the white ball format.
The reason I'm asking you, Mr. Gavaskar, is because Rohit Sharma seems to be the natural replacement for Virat Kohli, at least as far as T20 is concerned. Is that the way you see it? Rohit Sharma has done remarkably, leading Mumbai Indians to great success in the IPL. Could he be the next ODI captain as well, whereas Virat is the test captain? Is that how you see the future of Indian cricket? Rohit Sharma, white ball captain, Virat, red ball.
Yeah, I think that's the way it looks. Look at the kind of form Rohit Sharma has been in test cricket as well. So clearly, I think his place in the Indian team is certain in all three formats, and therefore he with the kind of record he has in the IPL, 5 trophies he's won, which will mean that he will be the next T20 captain for sure. As far as the 50 overs captaincy is concerned, we'll just have to wait and see. But I can sense that even that will probably be up for a change.
Okay, hold your thoughts, Mr. Gavaskar. I just want to widen this. Shishir Atangdi, former Mumbai captain, now Baroda Cricket Association CEO, and Boria Majumdar, consulting sports editor, joining us. Thank you both very much also for joining this. Boria, your first thoughts. You know the inside story. Has Virat Kohli been pushed to take this decision, or was this purely voluntary?
I think he's trying to preempt. His removal. If he doesn't win the World Cup, from what I know, having spoken to the BCCI mandarins and the selection committee people, I think the thought in the board was that the 2020 World Cup, the T20 World Cup, is basically his guillotine tournament. He wins, he stays. He doesn't, he goes as white ball captain. And by stating,
was he told that? Sorry, Boria. Was Virat Kohli told that if you don't win this tournament?
Not in so many words, but the indication was given. Not in so many words, but I think he was starting to see the writing on the wall. Think about it, Rajdeep. Jay Shah and Sourav Ganguly have both congratulated him. Had they said a word about him staying on till 2023 as far as the 50-over captain is concerned? No. Why is he doing what he's doing now? From what I understand, he had mooted a proposal, or a proposal was given to the selection committee, and I'm putting this on record. I've spoken to people in the board and to the selection committee that let's make 2 vice captains, young people as vice captains in the 50-over format. Let Rohit take the T20 and Virat stays on with the 2 others till 23. The board has shot it down.
Right.
The board has shot it down, and the decision is that if he wins the World T20, obviously he stays on in his terms. But if he doesn't win, I think Rohit Sharma becomes white ball captain in both formats, T20 and 50.
Very interesting, Shishir Atangdi. It seems that, the Indian Cricket Board lacks transparency. This is leading to this kind of speculation, conspiracy theories. Was Virat Kohli being virtually pushed out? What do you make out of this? Is this, could this have been handled better? If Rohit Sharma is to be your T20 captain, he could have been easily made for the T20 World Cup as well.
Well, I think, Rajdeep, what we are doing at the moment is dramatizing a situation, a decision that we need to respect. Now, whether that decision has come out of, an intuition that smart players usually have, and they know when to vacate or relinquish the throne and not vacate, or are being asked to vacate it. So I think Virat would have done a SWOT analysis of what he felt was coming. One, the fact that, he hadn't won in too many ICC or won any ICC tournament, and having done well in the SENA countries as a T20 captain, he would have known that, the pressure would have been on him post T20. Well, if he wins the T20 World Cup, people will say, why did he go? But the point is, he's taken that call, and Sunil Gavaskar, Mr. Gavaskar himself relinquished his captaincy after the 85 World Cup, where I think he enjoyed his captaincy probably more than any time else in his career. So these are moments that players do take a decision preempting what could happen in a worst case scenario. He's taken it. I don't think he would have been asked or given the indication. Well, I don't know, but he given the indication.
The fact is, Shishir Atangdi, you've got Mahendra Singh Dhoni now as a mentor who comes in suddenly for the T20 World Cup. You have Ravi Shastri as coach. You have Virat Kohli as the T20 captain, but you've got Rohit Sharma as the captain in waiting. It all seems to me a bit like a pig's breakfast.
Well, the bigger the breakfast, more the inputs. I have no problem with that, as long as the basic interest in raising the bar of the team standards is adhered to. So, if Dhoni brings something to the table, so be it. If Ravi is bringing something to the table, so be it. And if Rohit Sharma believes, or he would now start believing he's the heir to the throne, then he can contribute much more than, not knowing where his future would be as a captain for the future.
Mr. Gavaskar, let's turn to a slightly contentious issue, and I want an honest answer. How do you see Virat Kohli as a captain? Because it tends to divide public opinion. There are those who see that he's brought this ultra aggression to Indian cricket, which is great. There are others who believe that he's just over the top, puts too much of pressure on the team. What's your honest view of Virat Kohli, the captain?
Well, have a look at his record. His record at home has been phenomenal. At home, there's not been a single team that has been able to beat India in any format of the game, be it the T20 game or the white ball game or the red ball game. Ever since he's been the captain, it's been like that. It's just overseas that he hasn't had the same kind of series success that was expected of him because of the phenomenal success that India has had at home. And so that was the only question mark, in which now with this win in England, that also has been taken care of to a great extent.
Boria Majumdar, is there a sense within the team, as you speak to people, that many of the players believe that Rohit Sharma will bring a new dimension to our white ball cricket given his success with Mumbai Indians? Is that something they're looking forward to, or do they see a clash building up even now between Rohit's camp and a Virat camp?
I don't think there's any camp like that. I don't think there's any camp like that. But at the same time, I have to say this. Rohit commands tremendous amount of respect within the team as a leader. He has always carried the youngsters with him, still does. And you know what? I have always maintained this, that Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma need not go out for dinner every day and with their wives to be captain and vice captain of the Indian team and do well. As long as they both back each other professionally and India does well, I'm happy. Two superhuman achievers, Steve Waugh and Shane Warne, inhabited the same Australian dressing room, leading Australia to the best period of their cricket ever. They weren't mates. You do not need to be mates socially to play a high-performance sport and be super achievers. So within the team, you asked me, the team loves Rohit Sharma. They absolutely love Rohit Sharma, the leader. There is no two ways about it. But is there a clash, Virat versus Rohit, etc.? I don't think there is any clash like that.
Shishir Atangdi, you've known Rohit Sharma well. Is he ready to now lead Team India?
Oh, of course, he's not exactly a spring chicken, and he's been leading his franchise, and he's nearing his mid-30s. So if there is a stint for him to lead India, even if it is the white ball format, then this may be the right time. And importantly, a younger vice captain to phase in for the future, which is so very important, because you don't want a void when you have two mid-30-year-olds suddenly, after a couple of years, just slipping away from the arc lights. And that is something that would be very dangerous for Indian cricket.
So are we moving from the Virat era to the Rohit era? What stops Rohit Sharma from becoming even the test match captain? Let's be clear. Can Indian cricket have these two, this split captaincy like certain other countries in the world?
Are you asking me that?
Yes, Shishir.
Yeah, well, that's a possibility. But the point is, if you talk about split captaincies, a lot of countries who've had split captaincies, the captains in the white ball format haven't found a place in the test team.
Right.
Suddenly we find that Rohit is in his pomp as a test batsman with his last 100. And of course, Virat is capable of, raising the bar for himself. He's always going to be compared as a batsman versus captain, and we'll always find him a better batsman than a captain because he's set such high standards with the bat. So, to compare whether he's a great captain or whether he's one of India's best captains is always going to be difficult. But change is always a constant. It'll all depend on the form of a person. I sense that if Virat Kohli's form stays or he raises the bar in terms of his form in the red ball cricket, he will continue to be captain, because generally your best player is the captain in India.
My final question to you, Mr. Gavaskar, this is something linked to your generation as well. There's a sense that, when you become captain, you are the superstar, and there's this superstar syndrome in Indian cricket, and it puts a lot of pressure on the individual and perhaps even on the entire cricketing fraternity. The whole believe that you can't show a mirror to a superstar. Everything revolves around the captain at the end of the day, even though cricket should be a team game. Do you see that, this sort of obsession with kaun banega captain?
Yes. Well, the captain, captain is a special player. You've got to also appreciate that in India, we give the captaincy to somebody who's a special player. We don't give it to somebody whose place in the team is not certain. So that's the most important requisite, that you've got to be an absolute automatic choice to be in the team, that you should be the first name when the selection committee sits down. You should be the first name. When that happens, then the captaincy is yours for the asking. And that is what has been the situation all this while. And that's how it should be. But of course, with the captaincy, the pressure comes of expectations that because you've been a phenomenal success as an individual player, be it as a batsman or a bowler, now that success has to translate for the team as well. And that brings its own pressures.
One final word from you, a word of advice for Virat Kohli. What would you like to tell Virat today, Sunil Gavaskar?
Well, just enjoy this T20 World Cup because the fact that he's now knowing the fact that he's not going to be the captain, he's going to go out there and play absolutely brilliantly because the result, irrespective of what happens, he knows that he's not going to be the captain. So go out and play as if this is your last outing in a T20 game as well. You will play more T20 matches after this as a player, but just go out and enjoy yourself, and the trophy could be yours.
Well, that's what we all hope for. It will be a great way for Virat Kohli to conclude his T20 career as captain by winning an ICC tournament. Boria Majumdar, Shishir Atangdi, Sunil Gavaskar, thanks very much for joining us. If Sourav Ganguly symbolized defiance, Mahendra Singh Dhoni embodied street smartness and calmness, Virat Kohli really represented an in-your-face aggression of a new India.